Want to know what the best planners are for 2023? Then stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now this is not a video where I am going to tell you my favorite planners for 2023, because if they work for me, it doesn't automatically mean that they're going to work for everybody else. That may not work for you. So what I want to do is to teach you today how you can figure out what the best planner for you is going into 2023. Now, we all want to buy all the planners, but that's part of the fun. And it's also part of the learning experience of how we can figure out what planner works best for each of us. The main purpose of this video is for you to know how to find your best planner for 2023. Now, you could sit on your computer or your phone and scroll and do all the research possible and still not be able to find the best planner for you. And that's because you need to actually have the planner in hand, and you have to use the planner, and not just for a week. You really need to use the planner for a good chunk of time to see if that works for you. Sometimes it's a little bit of training your brain to work that way, but that's not ideal. What you really need is a planner that works the way your brain works, so that you don't have to adjust everything to fit a planner that's made out of paper that was designed for someone else's brain. It's like on those organizing shows where they say, don't train yourself to put your keys and your code in your bag somewhere specific, but create a landing spot where you naturally leave those things. So the best thing to do is to redo the research and pick a planner that you are going to try. Now, a lot of the big planners will have printable pages for you to try out. So if you don't want to spend too much money, what you can do is print those off and use those and see if it works for you. Or if collecting planners is part of the fun for you, then you can buy different planners, but don't buy a bunch to try at once. What you need to do is to try one and see how that works out for you. And then if that doesn't work, then you can figure out where to go next. And we'll get to that in a second. So when you get that planner, either the printable pages or the actual planner in your hands, I want you to use it for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Now that seems like a long time, but really you can't know if it's working well for you in any shorter period of time. You may know in a week that it doesn't work. You probably will know. If it doesn't work, you're gonna know it. But if it's sort of working well, but not 100%, you're not going to know enough in just a couple weeks. You're going to need the 6 to 8 weeks to figure out if this planner is going to be the planner you continue to use, if it's going to be one that works for you. Now, during these 6 to 8 weeks, what I'd like you to do is designate a page at the back of the planner or somewhere else where you list out the pros and the cons of this planner. Now, the squeaky wheel is going to get the grease, so that's what you're going to notice first. So you'll probably have a lot more cons than you do pros, but I want you to really pay attention to what's working for you, because sometimes if you switch a planner, you don't realize what's actually working, and when you move to another planner, you then miss those things that were working for you that you didn't even realize they were working. They're working so well that they just kind of chugged along in the background. So make sure that you are noticing what is working as well as the stuff that isn't working. Really pay attention to what is working. And this is truly why you need to have the planner in your hand and actually use it, because you won't know. You absolutely won't know if it works for you until you actually have it in hand and use it. It can seem perfect online. It can seem perfect when you have it in your hands in the store, but it's not until you put your pen to paper every day for a bunch of consecutive days that you will know if it will work for you. You may think that you want a vertical layout, but maybe a horizontal actually works better. Or maybe you've picked a daily planner and you realize that a day is just too much space and you don't need all that. Or maybe you've chosen a weekly and you do need more space for each day. Maybe you've chosen a ring planner and you realize that you hate rings and you want a TN, or you've bought a TN, you realize that you want the flexibility of moving pages around with the rings. You won't know until you try. Then what you do after the 6 to 8 weeks, now you can decide whether this planner can work with a few tweaks, or if you're going to throw the baby out with bathwater and start fresh with something else. How do you decide? If it really isn't working, you're going to know. If it's extremely wrong for you, you will know right away. But if even after those 6 to 8 weeks, it just feels like a struggle, Planning should not feel like a struggle. So if it feels like a struggle, it's not for you and you're going to want to switch. And we'll get to that in a second. But what if it actually is kind of working, but there's just a few things that you just wish were different? How can you tweak those things so that you can use this planner? If you're missing just a little bit of space, why not add a blank page every once in a while where that space is missing? Or maybe you have too many pages and you can just take out the extras. What if it's just a simple layout with no hours? Think about, would it be too much work for you to add in the hours every day, or maybe just on the left-hand side of the page and they can run over through the week? These are little tweaks that you can do when the planner is otherwise working well for you. And then you can live with those tweaks for a few weeks and see if those work. And if they still aren't working, then we're going to look into finding a different planner. And that's when that pro list is really important, because you want to make sure that the new planner checks every one of those pro boxes. Because if you switch and you're missing one of your favorite things from your pro list, it's not going to work for you either. You're going to have something else. Maybe the new planner will be easier to tweak and you can add that pro back in, but that's something you're going to need to work out. So again, you're going to try this new planner for 6 to 8 weeks, do the tweaks. You can do the tweaks earlier on if you see that it'll help. But before you decide to switch planners, see if there's any little tweaks you can do to make this planner perfect for you. Because there really is no 100% perfect planner for anybody. Every planner that I've used has really worked well for me at that time, and I've had to tweak every single one of them. And that's not a bad thing. Even if you design a planner for yourself, there's going to be things that you forget or miss out or are wishing to have. Take that into consideration when you are buying a planner, using a planner, changing planners, tweaking a planner. Just to summarize, to make this easy, you're going to do your research, find a planner that looks perfect online. In theory, it looks perfect for you. Then you're going to buy it or use the printables from their website. Try those for 6 to 8 weeks and see how it goes. See if you can tweak anything that's not working perfectly for you. Make sure you have that list of pros and cons for everything that's working and not working in your planner. Then after the trial period, you can decide whether you're going to keep that planner or try something new. And if you do try something new, make sure that you get all your pros. If you'd like to see what planners I am using for 2023, then stay tuned, because I have a video coming up with my 2023 planner lineup. One quick note before I go, if you have started your Christmas shopping and you have someone on that list that's really hard to shop for, then I have a great video coming up soon with all kinds of ideas. But if you want to get a head start, I've brought back past boxes for that hard to shop for person on your list. These are great gift boxes for women. There's a gift inside, some self-care items, tea and a treat, and a mini craft kit. And they really are perfect for any woman or teen on your list. So I'll put that link in the description below and you can pop over there, have a browse. There's all kinds of different ones that you can choose from. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You can do that here by clicking on my little face. Here are 2 more videos that I think you'll like. If you made it this far, leave me a check mark emoji in the comments below. Have a fantastic day and happy planning!